الوكيل المعتمد والحصري في العراق، مجموعة الأجراس.
Let's start off by showing you a few of the items across the top of the VANTAGE Pro. Starting with the first port here, it's labeled Channel 1, which is for your Channel 1 input on the VANTAGE Pro. Next to that is the COM port, which stands for ground. This is where you connect your ground lead for the VANTAGE itself. Next to that is Channel 2 for Channel 2 input. Next to that is the amperage port. So if you would actually want to take amperage measurements through the VANTAGE Pro itself, you could use this port to do that. One thing I want to point out before we go much further, if you wanted to measure amperage in series with your VANTAGE Pro, you would connect one lead here, your other lead here, and then connect to whatever device you wanted to test the amperage flow on. By doing it this way, you'll eliminate the need to actually use an inductive amp probe. Now if we go back to channel 1, you'll see there's also a label in there V/ with the ohm signal. If you were using the digital volt ohm meter itself, you would actually hook here with your input signal and then connect to the ground lead here to use the digital volt ohm meter. Just one more thing I want to point out here. You see you have Compact Flash Card 1 and Compact Flash 2. Compact Flash 1 is the internal memory for the VANTAGE Pro itself. Compact Flash 2 is actually where the files that you have saved are stored. The next thing we're going to talk about is the main menu of the VANTAGE Pro itself. First icon you see is a car icon, which represents the info section, which would be where you would access the VANTAGE Pro database from, go through and do particular tests on items or find actual information about a particular component. Now below that you see a meter icon. That's where you would access the digital volt ohm meter, or you could access just the graphing scanner itself without the database under that section. Your next icon represents the lab scope section itself. This is where you go to access a lab scope and perform different tests in there. The next item you see is a folder icon. That is where the data management section itself is in. If you want to go in and actually look at records you had saved, edit them, things like that. All these items are accessed by using the thumb pad on the front of the VANTAGE Pro. The next section we're going to access is the utility section. There's only a couple key features I want to show you real quickly in this area before we move on. The first item I want to discuss is the Easy Scroll. As you can see on my example here, there's a check mark next to Easy Scroll. So that indicates that the Easy Scroll function is activated at this time. And what the Easy Scroll does is actually turn the right arrow on the thumb pad into a yes command. This will eliminate you having to press the yes button when you want to select different items in the menu. The next item I want to talk about is the S button. For those of you that have used the Solus before, you're already aware of what the S button does. But for those of you who have not, we're going to take you real quickly through what you can do with this S button on front of the tool. What the S button is, it's a multi-configurable button. You can actually change what it does. If you go into the menu, you can configure it to actually either save a screen by pressing the button or to actually perform a print function.